Hello friends, I am Professor Rajendra Koranne from my YouTube channel Teach Easy. In the previous video, we saw stress strain curve for mild steel, cast iron and for deformed bar. Let us first see what do we mean by working stress. The stress induced in the material of the member due to the actual load which is acting on it is known as working stress. Okay? Now what is the safe stress? It is the stress in the material which can be withstand without causing any permanent deformation in that material. It means that safe stress shall not exceed the limit of proportionality or proportional limit. As it is very difficult to observe the limit of proportionality accurately, the safe stress is based on yield stress or ultimate stress. Now let us say what do we mean by factor of safety. To calculate the safe stress, the ultimate stress or the yield stress is divided by a certain number. That number is known as factor of safety. Therefore, the factor of safety is defined as the ratio of yield stress or ultimate stress to the safe stress. Therefore, FOS, that is factor of safety, is yield stress or ultimate stress upon safe stress. So whatever may be the capacity of the member, it is always loaded such that the stress will be within the limit of proportionality. So this is a very important aspect as far as design is concerned. Now let us solve one example to understand deeply what is stress strain curve. Okay? So let us take the example. Following observations are made in a tension test on a 20 mm diameter mild steel bar having gauge length of 160 mm marked on it. Now what are the observations? Load at yield point 82 kilonewton, maximum load 134 kilonewton, breaking load 122 kilonewton. At 75 kilonewton load, elongation was 0.192 mm. The gauge length at fracture after breaking is 194 mm. We have to calculate yield stress, ultimate stress, breaking stress, modulus of elasticity and percentage elongation. Now with the help of this example, you can very easily see that how many loads are given here. 4 loads are given. When the load is applied gradually, the first load which will be reached will be 75 kilonewton, and at that load the elongation was observed. This particular observation number 4 will be very much useful to find out modulus of elasticity. Then it will come as 82 kilonewton, that is load at yield point. Okay, so this is before proportional limit. Okay, this is yield point. Then 134 is maximum, and then load will decrease. This is a very known fact that breaking load is always less than maximum load. We saw it because once ultimate load is reached, the material start reducing in the cross section, thereby for the further elongation it requires less load and ultimately it breaks at a load which is less than the maximum load. Do you understand? Okay. Now we have to find out so many things over here. What are the things given? Original diameter is given as 20 mm, 160 mm gauge length, that is original gauge length. This is load at yield point, this is ultimate load, this is breaking load. For this particular load, elongation is given, so this particular reading or observation is useful to find out modulus of elasticity, and final gauge length is given 194 mm. After breaking, if you temporarily rejoin them, you can measure that G dash. Okay, so let us find out the things one by one. Let us first find out cross-sectional area, that is original cross-sectional area, that is pi d square by 4. Put the value of d as 20 and you will come to know that it is 314.16 mm square. Now let us calculate yield stress. What do you mean by yield stress? Load at yield point divided by original cross-sectional area. Load at yield point is 82 into 10 raised to 3 for converting in Newton divided by 314.16. On a scientific calculator, you will get that value as 261 Newton per mm square. Now ultimate stress. What is ultimate stress? Is ultimate load, that is maximum load upon original cross-sectional area. Maximum load is 134 kilonewton. Okay, divided by cross-sectional area is 314.16 and this comes out to be 426.53 Newton per mm square. Now the third thing which we have to calculate is breaking stress. Now breaking stress is of two types, that is actual breaking stress, nominal breaking stress. For actual breaking stress, you must be given the final diameter after fracture. It is not given, so we cannot calculate reduced area. So in this particular problem, you are expected to calculate nominal breaking, which will be breaking load divided by original cross-sectional area. Breaking load is given as 122 kilonewton. So 122 into 10 raised to 3 for converting in Newton divided by 314.16, which comes out to be 388.34 Newton per mm square. Here you can very easily see that the stress at which the specimen breaks is less than ultimate. Okay, because due to the fact that it is original cross-sectional area. If you take here reduced cross-sectional area, this will be much more than ultimate stress. Okay. Now we want to find out modulus of elasticity. For that purpose, the first load which is achieved, which is resisted by the material, is 75 kilonewton, and at that load it was observed that elongation was 0.192 mm. That is delta L is given. What is the formula for delta L? P into L upon E into E. What is L here? L means original gauge length, that is 160 mm is given. So I will take E here, delta L here. So modulus of elasticity will be P into L upon A into delta L. Substitute the values 75 into 10 raised to 3 to convert in Newton into 160 divided by area is 314.16. And what is delta L? At 75 kilonewton, delta L is given as 0.192 mm. So 0.192, which comes out to be 198.94 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square. We know that standard value of modulus of elasticity for steel is 190 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square to 210 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square, or 190 to 210 GPa. Okay, this is MPa, means Newton per mm square. Now the last one which we want to calculate is percentage elongation. Percentage elongation is the measure of ductility, the property of ductility of the bar. By how much percent it has elongated. So this percentage elongation can be very easily calculated as final gauge length minus original gauge length upon original gauge length multiplied by 100 to convert in percentage. Final gauge length, that is the gauge length at the fracture, is given as 194. Original gauge length was 160 divided by 160 multiplied by 100. It comes out to be 21.25. Okay, so this is the percentage elongation. So this is how we can solve the problem, and with the help of this problem, it becomes very much clear that how the load increases and what are the different changes which are observed in the specimen that can be very easily understood with the help of this particular example. Okay, so with this we will stop here. In the next video we will see the stresses induced in bars of varying cross section. Thank you.